This lesson is over how to multiply mixed numbers. So let's look at how do you know our number routine. He worked half as many as 10 hours. He worked half of 10 hours. So do they mean the same thing to you? It does. They do mean the same thing. So what's half of 10? That means 5 hours. To prove it, let's use our mathematics. Half of, that means that's a multiply, by the way. Half of 10. So how do I rewrite this whole number into fraction form? I put a 1 below it. So 10 divided by 1 is 10. So you get 10 halves. So what's 10 divided by 2? 5. So half of 10 is 5, and this is the reason why is. Or I can draw 10 circles and split it into 2 groups, and you have half, which is 5. Let's look at our do now. Georgia wants to prepare half of the chocolate frosting. How much of each ingredient will she need? So I need to multiply each one of these ingredients by 1/2. So it's half of 1/3. So multiply the numerator. 1, 2 times 3 is 6. 1/6 cup. What's half of 2? I could do that in my head, but I'm going to show the mathematics. How do I rewrite this whole number in fraction form? Put a 1 underneath it. Multiply the numerators, 2. Multiply the denominators, 2. And you get 1 whole. Half of 2 again is 1 whole. Half of half. Think about it. If you have half of a cookie or half of a teaspoon and you split that in half, that would be 1/4. And again, half of 2 tablespoons will be 1 tablespoon. So we're focusing on fractions. You want a piece of me? Piece of me. All right, so Joanna gave each friend 5/4 or 1 1/4 pizzas. Shade the pizza pan to represent the pizza she gave to one friend. So using my highlighter, I will shade in 1 and 1/4. So Joanna gave this amount away. If Joanna has 4 friends and each friend received 5/4 or 1 1/4 pizzas, how many pizzas did Joanna give away? So let me use another highlighter and shade in 1 1/4 or 5/4. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4. So she gave that to her second friend. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4. She gave that to her third friend. 1 whole and 1/4. She gave that to her fourth friend. So in other words, she gave 1, 2, 3. She gave 5 whole pizzas away. So if Joanna has 4 friends and each friend received 5/4 for 1 1/4 pizzas, how many pizzas did Joanna give away? Write as repeated addition. So she gave 5/4 to her first friend. She gave 5/4 to her second friend. She gave 5/4 to her third friend. And she gave 5/4 to her fourth friend. And that's repeated addition. Or you could say 1 1/4 plus 1 1/4 plus 1 1/4 plus 1 1/4. Write as a multiplication sentence. So 4 groups of 5/4. Or you could say it as 4 groups of 1 1/4. Now let's solve it. How can I rewrite this whole number in fraction form? I put a 1 underneath it. So 4 times 5 is 20. I multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. So 1 times 4 is 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5 is the answer. And let's go back to our pictorial form. I do see 5 pieces shaded. So, as you know, I didn't really touch this. I see kids do this all the time. Do not do this, please. Oh, 4 times 1 is 4. 4 and 1 4. That's the answer. 4 and 1 4. You have to turn this mixed number into an improper fraction because remember, how do you multiply fraction? You multiply the numerators, then you multiply the denominators. This is a mixed number. This is not an improper fraction. Let's look at another example. Every day, Robert will eat 1 3/4, or let's turn this into an improper fraction. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7/4. So every day he eats 7/4 pizzas. It must be like a little Totino pizza or a personal sized pizza. That's a lot pizza to eat. Shade of pizza he eats. So using my highlighter, he eats 1 3/4 or 7/4. 7 slices of a fourth. In 3 days, how many pizzas will he eat? So using another highlighter, he eats 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4. He eats this amount on the second day. That's using my highlighter again. He eats 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4. So he eats this amount. So in 3 days, he eats 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole pizza and 1/4. Or how many fourths of a pizza does he eat? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 21 fourths. Either answer is correct. I prefer 5 and 1/4 because it doesn't make sense. Like I ate 21 fourths of pizza. It doesn't make sense. It makes more sense. I ate 5 whole pizza and a fourth of a pizza. So in 3 days, how many pizzas will he eat? So he ate, is it 7/4? He ate 7/4 on the first day. Remember, he eats the same amount every day. He ate 7/4 the second day. He ate 7/4 the third day. So I'm writing this as repeated addition. 7/4 plus 7/4 plus 7/4. However, you may have preferred 1 3/4 plus 1 3/4 plus 1 3/4. Either one is correct. Now write it as a multiplication sentence. Again, repeated addition is just multiplying. So it's 3 groups of 7/4. How can I rewrite this whole number 3 into fraction form? Put a 1 underneath it. So that would be 3 times 7 is 21 fourths. How many fourths go into 21? 5. You have 1 left over. So 21 fourth is equivalent to 5 and 1/4. Again, if you are given a mixed number such as this, 3 times 1 3/4, that's saying 1 3/4 plus 1 3/4 plus 1 3/4 will equal 5 and 1/4. Do not do this. Oh, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 3/4. No. If you look at your pictorial model, it is not 3 3/4. It's 5 and 1/4. So last but not least, John had 9/4, or 2 1/4. Because how many 4s go to 9? 2 whole. You have 1 left over. John gave 2/3 of the leftover pizzas to his friend Paul. How many pizzas did Paul receive? So he gave 2/3 of what he had. He's giving part of. As you can tell, this is less than 1. So our original number will be less than. So because he's giving part of it. So do you prefer multiplying by an improper fraction or a mixed number? I prefer multiplying by an improper fraction. So I multiply the numerators. That's 18. I multiply the denominator, which is 12. I can simplify this. I'm going to divide both numbers by 6. So that gives me 3/2. Can I rewrite that as a mixed number? 1 1/2. Because can 2 go into 3 one time? What do you left over? 1. Again, if you do not see that, in 5th grade, your teacher taught you to divide it. Can 2 go into 3 one time? What do you have left over? 1 whole, 1 1/2. I'll even take 1.5. Again, do not again multiply these and stick the 1/4 somewhere. That does not make sense. You have to turn this mixed number to an improper fraction. So let's practice. Is 4 times 2.5 the same as saying 4 groups of 2.5? It is, because you have 4 groups of 2.5. That's 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5. Can you rewrite that in a multiplication sentence? 4 times 2.5. Could you rewrite that as another multiplication sentence? 4 times 5/2. So I turned this mixed number to an improper fraction. Now solve it. So rewrite the whole number in fraction form. 4 multiply the numerator, that's 20/2, or just 10. Which one do you prefer? Some people prefer adding. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 8. Half and half makes a whole. Other half and half makes a whole. That's 10 whole. I prefer this one, the third one. So is 6 times 3 2/3 the same as saying 6 groups of 3 2/3? It is. So do you prefer adding it 6 times, multiplying by 3 2/3, or multiplying by the improper fraction of 11/3? I prefer the last one. Again, let's see. This would be, how do you turn this whole number into fraction form? Put a 1 underneath it. Multiply the numerators, you get 66. 66 divided by 3 is 3. Can 3 even go to 66? 22 times. Please, again, do not multiply 6 times 3 and then 2/3. Then stick the 2/3 next to it, because then I could do, 6 times 3 is 18, 18 2/3. No. If you check this, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 18. Then you have 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3. So again, do not do that. You have 6 groups of 2/3. That's 4. So 18 plus 4 is 22. All right, how do you multiply a mixed number? First of all, you need to turn a mixed number to an improper fraction. Then you multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, then you can simplify it, if possible. So let's practice. 1/3 of. I'm finding part of 4.5. So 1/3. What can you tell me about 1/3? It is less than 1. So our answer will be less than the original number of 4 1/2. So 1/3 times, how do you write 4.5 as an improper fraction? 9/2. So I multiply the numerator, which is 9. I multiply the denominator, which is 6. I can simplify 9/6 by dividing both numbers by 3. And I get 3/2, or 1 1/2. Next example. 1/4 times 3.5. I am finding a parts of that, finding 25/100ths of this. By the way, you can always turn these into decimals. You could multiply 25/100ths times 3 5/10. So 1/4 times, how can I rewrite this mixed number into an improper fraction? I multiply the whole number in the denominator, which is 7, add the numerator, that's 8. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7/2. Scratch, scratch, scratch. So multiply the numerator, 7, multiply the denominator, 8, and the answer is 7/8. Can I turn this to a mixed number? Because I see kids turn that to a mixed number. No, this is just a regular improper fraction. Only if it's improper did you turn it to a mixed number. 6 groups of 2 2/3. Would you like to add 2 2/3 6 times? Or would you like to do, instead of repeated addition, multiply it by 2 2/3? So how can I rewrite 6 in fraction form? 6/1. How can I write 2 2/3 as a improper fraction? That's 6 plus 2 is 8/3. I multiply the whole numerator, that's 48. I multiply the denominator, 1 times 3 is 3. And what is 48 divided by 3? I believe it's 16. Can 3 go in 4 one time? You have one. How many 3 go 18? 16. So 16. And last but not least, probably the most difficult question of all. 2 and 1/5 times 1 and 1/2. Again, do not do this. I see kids do this all the time. Oh, this is easy, Mr. Joe. You multiply the whole number. It's 2 times 1 is 2. You multiply the fraction 1/5 times 1/2. That's 1/10. So it's 2 and 1/10. No, 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 no. Turn this into an improper fraction. That would be 11/5. Because 5 times 2 is 11. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 more is 11/5. Turn this into an improper fraction. That would be 3/2. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 more is 3/2. Now I multiply this and I get 33/10. How many tenths go into 33? 3 whole. You have 3 left over. 3 and 3/10. Check your work if 3 and 3/10 is equivalent to 33/10. It is. So, without model, if you multiply by a number less than 1, such as 1/2 and 1/4, and you start with the original number of 4.5, will it increase, decrease, or stay the same? It will decrease. If you multiply by 1, it will stay the same. If you multiply by a fraction or number greater than 1, it will increase. So, for example, 1/2 was half of 4.5. So turn this into an improper fraction, which is 9/2. If you multiply this, you get 9/4. How many 4s go into 9? 2 whole, 2 and 1/4. Because what's half of 4? 2. And what's half of half? 1/4. 2 and 1/4. And that's less than the original number. Let's look at this example. You have 3/2, and I multiply by 4.5. What is that as an improper fraction? 9/2. So you get 27/4. How many fourths go into 27? 6 whole. That's 24. You have 3 left over, 6 and 3/4. So our original number has increased to 6 and 3/4 because we're multiplying more than a fraction or numbered more than 1. So when the first fraction, where's my typewriter? When the first factor is less than 1, the quantity decreases. When the first factor is equal, it stays same. When the first factor is greater than 1, the quantity increases from the original number. So let's look at our question. Mr. Joe is baking a rectangular cake for Lucy Liu, who's my celebrity girlfriend. The area of the cake is 3.5. The area of the cake is 3.5 inch by 5 3/4 inch. So this is 5 3/4. That's the length of the cake, 5 3/4 inches. And the width is 3.5 inches. He only has enough frosting for 17 square inches. Will he have enough frosting for the entire rectangular cake? So let's find the area of this cake. Dear Lucy, wishing you a day which is as special as we are. I should say, as we are. So how do you rewrite this? Again, how do you find area of a rectangle? It's length times width. In 6th grade, we use base times height. So turn this into an improper fraction, which is 23/4. Turn 3.5 to an improper fraction, which is 7/2. So if you multiply 23 times 7, it is 171. And multiply the denominator, 4 times 2 is 8. How many 8s go into 161? 20, and you have leftover of 1/8. That is how large this cake is. It's 21 and 1/8 square inches. But I only have enough frosting to cover 17 square inches. Do I have enough frosting? No. Lucy will be mad at me. So this is how you multiply mixed number. You turn a mixed number to an improper fraction and you multiply.